Good afternoon, Block 2. It is your favorite time of day, Spiral Review. Okay, this is Block 2, and we're looking at Spiral Review number 21. The first thing I'm going to do is put my name on it. Okay, secondly, I'm going to put that this is due this Friday, and that is March 4th. Maybe. Okay, over here in our number sense column, it says round the following number to the underlying place value. Name the value of the underlying digit. Remember that should be written as a number, not a word. Name the place value. Remember that you will lose points if you do not put an S on the end and the word place. You will not get it counted correct. Okay, write this number in word form. It does not say it, but you do need any hyphens and commas. I'll give you a hint. There's no commas in this number, but there is a hyphen. Okay, solve for y if the x is equal to 9. What does it mean when it says 4x? What does that mean? Lane. 4 times x. So that is not 49. That's 4 times x, and then you add your 23. Okay, here you're going to subtract, divide, and your partial quotients will be the quotients that are over here on the side before you add them all together. And then it says name the quotient and the remainder down here. So you have a hint. You should have a remainder. Here you're going to add. Who can tell me what digit is in the ones place in this number? In the first add-end, Cordelia? A 5. And what digit is in the ones place in our second add-end? Colin?
1.
The 1. So those digits need to be lined up. Remember that you can add your decimal point, 0, 0, to the first add-in. Okay, here you're going to subtract and add back to check. A lot of you missed that point last week because you did not add back to check. Okay, here you're multiplying. Remember the dollar sign and the decimal point. Remember, we have talked about this. I drew my box weird. I drew my box wrong. It's just multiplying it as 4,691. Okay, and then going back and putting that decimal point in, that's a dollar sign. So we know that there need to be two places to the right of the decimal. When you put your answer, you need to remember to put the dollar sign. You're welcome to go ahead and write that in there now. Yes?
You can also help put it 2 over because it says 46.91. That's 2 over the decimal.
That is right. It's 2, but however many places are to the right of the decimal in the factors is how many places to the right of the decimal you need in your product. Okay, then you have a division problem. These are hard. Okay, it says that you need to do 5,1,6,7,0 divided by 8. You need to add a 0. Then divide like normal and move your decimal point straight up. That's a hard one. Okay, on the back. Find an equivalent fraction. You need to show the whole fraction that you use here. Okay? Multiply by a Oh, this one you're going to find an equivalent fraction by dividing by a whole fraction. So you need to find a common factor to divide by. Okay, decimals and fractions. 1/4 is the same as 1/4. We said 1/4 and 1/4 are synonyms. So what is the value of that? You should be able to look back on last week's spiral and get that. This is 6/10. This is 9 and 1500ths. You should know how to write those as decimals. Okay. Then we have measurement conversions. It tells you what page to look on. Okay. This one you need to show your work on. I need to be able to see it. Okay. Here we have the area of a complex shape that's just 2 triangles. So you just need to find this missing side, and you need to divide that. Okay, geometry. Use a ruler or straight edge. Draw a line AB intersecting line CD, forming 2 acute angles and 2 obtuse angles. Now this is new. Write the word acute by the 2 acute angles and the word obtuse by the 2 obtuse angles. Make sure that you have lines drawn and points labeled. Let me help you with this one. Okay, let's do this one together. You'll need a straight edge. You'll need a straight edge. If you need a ruler, raise your hand. HA can bring you one. If you have something at your desk you can use, that will be the quickest way. That's not going to work. Okay, guys, the quicker we get our rulers that are straight edge figured out, the quicker we get to move on. Okay, is there anyone else who needs a straight edge? Okay, I'm ready to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You should not be talking. I am waiting still on a couple of people. Oh, I gave away my own ruler. Thank you for those of you who are sitting quietly. Can I get one, AJ? Okay, so the first thing says line AB. Well, that is pretty easy to draw, okay? So I'm just going to take my ruler and I'm going to draw my straight line. Now, some of you are claiming that you're using a ruler, but it does not look like you're using a ruler. You need to use a little bit of strength and hold that down so it doesn't move around on you. Then it says intersecting. What does it mean, intersecting? What does that word mean? Bella? Huh? To cross each other. They need to cross each other. Now, the definition of a perpendicular lines is that they cross each other and they make 4 right angles. Don't draw this, but let me just show you. Just look at my picture. Here are 2 intersecting lines, and they make 4 right angles, right? 4 right angles are 90 degrees. Well, this says that they need to form 2 acute angles and 2 obtuse angles. Who thinks they can figure out where to draw another line that intersects AB that makes 2 acute and 2 obtuse angles? Jameson? Go up there and show us with your finger where you would put it. Shh. That would work. You could go diagonally. So it's still line CD and it still needs to be drawn with a straight edge. And then look, that's a point where they intersect. I'm just going to call that D. Now, who can point to the acute angles There are two acute angles. Who can point to them? Acute means less than 90 degrees. Who can point to those? Riley? Acute means less than 90 degrees. Who can point to those? Okay, very good. So this one is acute, and this one is acute. Obtuse means greater than 90 degrees. They're bigger. They open wider than 90 degrees. So you need to label those obtuse. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
So instead of the points, sometimes I do like that.
You need a point. We need to have points. Now, this is what we call a bonus lesson. Okay? I know, it's included for free. I'm not even charging.
Free class.
Okay, so look at this line right here. We know this is an acute angle. Let's just say maybe that's a 20-degree angle. If that's a 20-degree angle, what is this angle? How big is it? Shh, don't yell out, please. It's obtuse, so it's bigger than 90, so that's a hint. What do you think, Bella? Maybe what? Carter Nelson, what do you think? Bigger than that. Dane? No. Oh, yes, I'm sorry, it is. 160 degrees. Here's how we know. Listen, okay, when these kinds of questions sometimes come up on our NWEA, and then we can score higher if we understand something. Okay, so this is bigger. If this is, I wrote 20 degrees here. I meant to write 60. If this is 60, we know that a straight line is 180 degrees, right? So if, Cordelia, you with me? So if this is 60, then these two have to add up to 180. So that's 100. No, it is 120. I'm sorry, I was confusing myself. I meant to do 60 and 120. That's why I was thrown off when you said 160. Okay, if this one is 60, then that's 120. These two have to add up to 180. Okay, now here's another cool thing that you might see on NWEA. The opposite angles are the same measure. So how big is this angle? 60 degrees. And how big is this angle? 120 degrees. So the two angles that separate a line have to add up to 180. And opposite angles are equal. Okay? So let's just say that I had a line. So this one, that's 90. This is 90. So see, it works here too. Okay, let's say I had another angle and maybe it looks like this. You don't have to draw it. So let's say this one is 100 degrees. What is this one? If this is 100 degrees, what's this one? Eloise?
90?
Not 90. What do they have to add up to? It's a straight line. It has to add up to what, Gary? My straight line adds up to what measure? 80. Well, it adds up to 180. So that one's 80. So this one is what? This one is 80. It's the opposite. And this one is 100. Okay? Just a little extra tidbit for the day. Okay, Mrs. Young needs to buy paint for her game room. She wants to paint 2 walls, Colts blue. Each wall is 8 feet wide by 10 feet tall. A quart of paint covers 85 square feet and costs $21.99. A gallon of paint will cover 320 square feet and cost $40. What is the least expensive way for Mrs. Young to buy enough paint to cover both walls? Hey, you will need to calculate and compare the quart cost and the gallon cost. Okay? The least expensive way for Mrs. Young to buy enough paint to cover both walls is blank. So you need to figure out how many square feet she's going to be painting. It's 2 walls. Each wall is 8 by 10. And then you need to figure out the cheapest way for her to cover that wall with paint. Okay, here's where you're going to calculate the quart cost and the gallon cost. All right, I want to hurry this up. We've taken a while. Raise your hand for, I'll give out 3 freebies. Eloise.
The bottom one.
This one? Okay, I'll start it for you. I'm not going to do the whole thing. You want me to start that one? Yes. Okay, Eloise, try again. Okay, equivalent fractions. Do you want to do the multiplying one or the dividing one? Okay, what are the factors for 28? What are my factors for 28? Riley. 7 times what? 4. 7. 2 times what?
14.
And then 28. Okay, so now I can look also at the factors for 35. What do I have? 1 and 35. And what else? 7 times what?
5.
And here's my greatest common factor. So I can divide them by my whole fraction, 7/7. 28 divided by 7 is?
4.
35 divided by 7 is? That's 4/5. Okay, Stella Combs. This division one? Yep, those are hard ones. Okay, let's just pretend like that decimal's not even there. How many times can 8 go into 51 without going over? Dane. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say Dane, but go ahead, Dane. How many times can 8 go into 51 without going over? 6. And then it's really 6.000, right? Or 6,000 if you want to think of it that way. And then we need to subtract. 6 times 8 is 48. And then we have to add those 3 zeros. And now we're down to 3.670, or 3 and 670 thousandths. Now, how many times can 8 go into 36? How many times can 8 go into 36? 4 times. But it's really decimal point 400. What is 8 times 4? 32. So bring your decimal point down. And now we're at decimal point 470. How many times can 8 go into 47? How many times can 8 go into 47? Well, you should know. No one should be proud that they don't know. Avi, 5 times. But now we're really at decimal point 05 because we're coming all the way over here to the hundredths place. So that gives us 8 times 5 is 40. So decimal point 400 thousandths. That leaves me with 70 thousandths. Okay, 8 cannot go into 7, but how many times can 8 go into 70? Landon? Huh? 8 times, which is 64, but it's really 0.008. And that gives us 0.064. Okay, and we can stop dividing now because we know all the way to the thousandths digit. We're 6 and 458 thousandths. So we round it to the nearest dollar. What is that rounded to the nearest dollar? $6 and how many cents? I'm not nearest dollar, nearest penny. $6 and how many cents? $46. $6.46. That's a good freebie because that's a hard one. Okay, one more. McKenna.
Solve for y when x equals 9.
Okay, so it's 4 times 9 plus 23. So what's 4 times 9 plus 23? 59. Okay, Eloise, you asked for help on this, and I'm happy to help you on that during RTI. Okay, if I didn't give the freebie that you wanted, come see me during RTI this week, and I am more than happy to help you. We are doing 3 armor tickets if you turn it in on Tuesday, 2 armor tickets if you turn it in on Wednesday, and 1 armor ticket if you turn it in on Thursday before 10. Every day it's before 10, and then if you get 100%, you get an extra armor ticket, or if you get 100% when you turn it in, if you did a pre-check. You forfeit all armor tickets if you do not have what I have written down. Okay, yes ma'am, can I help you?